If you could pick a man's trade to suit his chosen sport, then blacksmith and boxing have got to be sweet science. The first boxing champion to hold 3 world titles came from this scenario. Bob Fitzsimmons, or Ruby Rob as I nicknamed him, worked 6 days a week in his brother's blacksmith's shed, Timaru, New Zealand. 12 hours a day working on the anvil, steel on steel. He developed muscles wider than the Amazon, and the back of muscles a fisherman would have died for. His forearms were like wire, his fists were made of granite. He was tutored in the basics of boxing, and that was all that was needed to start his journey as a pugilistic from down under. Jim Mace, the legendary world bare knuckle champion, witnessed Bob flattening 4 men in one night at a tournament. When he put Bob in front of his own talent, a Maori boy called Slade, Herbert Slade, who had fought John L. Sullivan, Ruby Rob annihilated Slade in 2 rounds. Fitzsimmons, with encouragement from Mace, stowed away on the ship Botany Bay, heading for Larry Foley's gym in Sydney. The Aussies claimed him as theirs, but the USA was calling for Fitz with the promise of fistic fame. Fitz cleaned up their best fighters with knockouts and then took the world middleweight champion off the great non-prolly, Jack Dempsey. Bob Fitzsimmons outboxed him and outpunched him. Dempsey was beaten in the 13th round, and Fitz pleaded with him to stay in the corner and fight no more. But champions don't do that. Dempsey came out to face the music. Fitz hit him with a clean single right, and at 27 years of age would become the middleweight champion of the world. The American public didn't warm so well to Ruby Rob. Flattening their idol was a bit much from a man they'd never heard of from a country they didn't know existed. But that didn't worry Fitz. He wanted to break their hearts as well as their jaws. Fitzsimmons was after the heavyweight champion of the world, James J. Corbett. Corbett had taken the title off an ageing John L. Sullivan and was now more interested in performing on the stage than in the boxing ring. Corbett was a hard man to get a contract from, and rather than fight Fitzsimmons, Corbett relinquished his title to Peter Mayer and dropped the belt on his lap. Fitzsimmons caught up with Mayer in Mexico. He took the belt off his lap and sat him on his bum. Mayer was out cold for 18 minutes. The papers gave Corbett a hard time for not putting his title on the line, and bounty hunter Bob Fitzsimmons tracked Corbett as though he had a price on his head. Bob finally caught up with his prey in Philadelphia, while Corbett was having lunch with his lady friend. Fitz stormed into the hotel restaurant with a boisterous voice. "You, Corbett, yes, you! You're holding me to ransom, calling yourself the heavyweight champion of the world, and running from the middleweight. You're not worthy to tie the belt around your waist." Corbett was furious at the intrusion. "How dare you, sir, interrupt my dinner and my lady?" He picked up a jug and let fly at Fitz. The jug flew straight past him, but Rob slipped it and smiled. "You're going to have to do better than that, James." The contract was signed the following week. The fight took place 7,000 feet above the Sahara Nevadas in Carson City, named after the frontier cowboy Kit Carson. This battle was billed as Fight of the Century, fought on St. Patrick's Day, 1897, high noon. Ruby Bob climbed over the ropes in a Japanese bathrobe. Some at ringside were laughing at this man with legs like a crayfish and hair the same colour. Bob smiled as mind was on the fight. He raised his hands to the crowd. They cheered, but when Corbett the champion arrived, they went ballistic. The crowd loved him. The fighters gloved up, but wouldn't shake hands. Seconds out, round 1. Corbett boxed straight and hard and landed more punches in the correct style of straight lefts, followed by hard rights. He landed left grips and full-weight uppercuts. Corbett was not there when Fitz retaliated. From the start, Corbett looked like he was going to cruise home. Round after round went by. Fitz threw punches but missed badly and paid the price for it. His face was awash with claret. Both nose and mouth was sliced open. But Ruby Rob was in there waiting for any mistake, and that's what made him so dangerous. In the 6th round, Corbett put Fitz down with a barrage of punches. The crowd went frantic and so did Bob's wife. She screamed, "Get up, Rob, get up!" And get up she did. Corbett was cursing the ref, telling him to speed the count up, but Bob got up at 9. It was a turning point of the fight. Corbett appeared to be tiring and Fitzsimmons was gaining in confidence. From the 6th round on, things started to swing Bob's way. Fitz's wife yelled, "Hit him in the lats, Rob, hit him in the lats!" But he didn't listen to that advice until the 14th round. Fitz landed a hard right, followed by a left rip to the stomach, and Gentleman Jim was on the canvas fighting for oxygen. Ruby Rob should have listened to his wife a lot earlier. White Earp, the great gunfighter and sheriff, with guns in hand, escorted the new champion and the referee to the changing shed. England said, "We have at last a world heavyweight champion." Australia and New Zealand felt Bob was theirs. But Bob Fitzsimmons held an American passport and fought under their colours. I guess everyone wants to own a winner. At 41 years of age, Bob fought George Gardner for the light heavyweight champion of the world and won it. This was the first time in the history of boxing that any man had won 3 world titles. Nat Fleischer, editor of The Ring magazine, said Bob Fitzsimmons was one of the most murderous punchers of all time, one of a few men who could bring down an opponent with a single shot. There was a large statue in Timaru, New Zealand, showing the fighting stance of a truly great fighting man, Bob Fitzsimmons. This is Billy Graham, over but not out.